Just a few hours ago, Pakistan has launched attacks against Iran. What exactly is driving this new escalation of the conflict? Who is the real target? And what exactly is behind this attack? I'm Paul, U.S. Army combat veteran. Let's talk about it. Okay, Pakistan has launched retaliatory strikes in Iran, killing at least 9 individuals. Now, the overarching part of the story is, as we discussed, Pakistan has actually launched a number of strikes into Iran and appeared to target particularly a region called Baluchistan. And Baluchistan, I'm not making this up, by the way. It sounds like a name that I've made up. Baluchistan actually is home to a number of Baluch militant groups, all of which are trying to separate themselves, separate Baluchistanis from Pakistan. And this separatist group, or these collection of separatist groups, is so problematic that both Iran and Pakistan actually claim that the other one is harboring the Baluchistani. And so this is part of a strike by Pakistan against Iranian territory, but targeting the Baluchis. And it's part of a larger sort of messaging and public appearance sort of conflict, especially for Pakistan, whose military is usually very strong, and one of the country's strongest institutions, is actually looking much weaker in their public perception. So it had to respond to some of these attacks by these militant groups. Pakistan's military was careful, it sounds like, not to have any of their personnel enter Iranian territory, relying on drones, rockets, and what they called standoff weapons, likely missiles fired from aircraft at a long distance, like a cruise missile fired from a bomber, to achieve the attack. Again, so let's talk about the exact region here. Now, here is a map. Let's see if we can zoom it out a little bit to make it a little clearer. Here is Iran. You can see it abuts Pakistan in the south, facing the Gulf of Oman, whereas Afghanistan is kind of nestled in the just north of that. And when we look over at the Baluchistani groups, right? You can see Baluchis here are in pink, and check out where they operate, right? They operate, of course, in southern Afghanistan, like very southern Afghanistan. They operate in southwestern Pakistan and in southeastern Iran. So you can see why that both of these countries, Iran and Pakistan, view the Baluchis as problematic. Now, the Baluch Liberation Army, or Baluchistan Liberation Army, is not a religious terrorist organization. They're a separatist group, and their targets are very often Pakistani. Because this is sort of their focus. There's also a sort of partner or mirror organization called, I think, the Baluch Liberation Front. And the Baluch Liberation Front, it seems to be doing the same type of operations, but within Iran. And this is noteworthy because this group, right, only about 500 to 2,000 members, but it's been fighting and active for almost 20 years. And they have made some spectacular terror attacks. Again, I use spectacular in a sense that they were spectacles. I'm not trying to praise them. For example, actually a woman, a mother of 2, I'm trying to think of a non-demonetized word here, carried an explosive vest into the University of Karachi and detonated it, killing 3 Chinese teachers. It's notable because the BLA really does regularly attack schools, teachers, and students in the province, probably believing that Pakistan is trying to impose, and to a lesser extent China, trying to impose their values onto Baluchistan. So is this a dangerous escalation of the conflict, or is this kind of its own conflict? I think I would argue, actually, this is probably its own separate conflict. I don't think there's a grave danger here, because ultimately the Iranians also don't like having these Baluchi separatists in their country. And one of the things that a lot of people don't understand is that these regions are they're not like California. Okay. The administrative state is extremely weak here. You can see here, right, in this map of Pashtun speakers, this region here, right, it's called the Fatah of Iran, the federally administered tribal areas. And it literally is an acknowledgement by Pakistan that they can't really exert a governance level of control here. Instead, they have the army perform regular sort of sweeping operations to like assert their authority, but there's no real governance structure taking place in these areas. And I imagine that similar functions occur in places like Baluchistan for both Pakistan and Iran, and frankly, Afghanistan for sure. Though the Afghans have said they're actually supporters of the BLA, but to what extent that's still true is kind of in question. So the takeaway here, the biggest takeaway, is that this is likely a problem these BLA rebels that both Iran and Pakistan are happy to see solved. And while Pakistan may not be able to strike its own territory, that is a bad move. And Iran may not be able to take out its own militants. They can take out each other's militants, and it may actually end up being kind of serving their own objectives, right? It's easy for Iran to say, oh, those meanies in Pakistan, they hit our territory and will respond in kind. And the Pakistanis may be like, oh no, don't strike the Baluchi Liberation Army post at this exact village and grid coordinate. So that's actually what I sort of suspect is happening here. You just have to, one of the things that you got to appreciate about this region is tribal and ethnic rivalries run deep, guys. And whatever animosity exists between Iran and Pakistan, I can guarantee it, an ethnic separatist group is something they can both agree to hate. Anyway, if you are looking for a way to improve your focus, improve your discipline, get your New Year's resolutions done, right? We're almost through January. And if you need that secret weapon to keep it going, you want to check out StrikeGum. StrikeGum is, of course, veteran owned, namely by this veteran. 90 milligrams of caffeine in every single piece, 100 milligrams of alpha GPC, 0 sugar. So you should definitely check it out at StrikeGum.com. We actually have a military discount. We also have like a first-time customer discount. So check it out. It is a great alternative to energy drinks, which are, $4 a pop. And of course, I appreciate the thousands of customers who've already picked up their StrikeGum. Anyway, that's all I had, guys. Hit like and subscribe on the video, right? Tell the YouTube algorithm this is good content. I'll see you guys in the next one. Cheers.